Let's try it. Let's try recording after football. Football is back, and here we go. Episode 69 of the Ballinesian podcast, sponsored by Levas Island Apparel. And football season is upon us. And
So
of course,
is.
that means the Chargers lose in a big game. Yeah, let's get this episode underway. I am Lance Falitongo,
Of course, man.
and we are here to break down every single game that happened in week one of the NFL season. How before we get started, how excited are you for how excited were you for today, for the first day, for the first Sunday of football?
Hey, man, I never thought I'd be cheering for Jimmy G, but I posted something today about Jimmy G that wasn't negative. So
Did the Raiders win today?
we did. We did. We did. Kick some donkey ass.
Hey, let's start with the Raider game. Raiders versus Broncos. Did you get to watch that game? What was it, in the afternoon?
Yeah, 125
Afternoon
start
slate.
time. 125. Scary moment though, like towards the end of the game, Jacoby Myers took a
Oh no.
uh helmet to helmet hit and he knocked out on the field. Like he was, you could tell. Like, and I don't know.
Concussed.
I know it's not like the cameraman's not doing it on purpose, but like he got it a perfect shot across the field where like Jacoby's was on the ground and Myers' eyes were rolled back. I was like, bro, if you see that, take the camera away. His family could be watching.
Oh
Like
man.
that sucks. Like he was laying there unconscious. You could tell his eyes were rolled back and they were trying to wake him up. But he got up and walked off the field with some
Oh,
help. And then,
oh, nice.
yeah, so,
That's
but
scary.
yeah,
Big day for Jacoby Myers.
yeah, two touchdowns. He multiple times was open on third downs, kept drives going. Him and Devontae are proving to be a pretty good match duo. But it's early. It's early. You can still tell that they still have to build some kind of chemistry or rapport with Jimmy G because, like, you can tell that they practice together, but not enough because they've had really good moments during the game, and then they went stagnant, and then you were like, well, where's the continuity from the last drive? But Josh Jacobs was a little slow today, like, but that could be also
Hmm.
Denver's run defense. They were pretty good stuffing the run today. Actually, you know what? Props to Russell Wilson because he took a lot of crap last year for the way the season went and
Yeah.
how he played, but he looked pretty good today. He looked like the old, not old Russell, but like who was the commentator? He said he looked
Ah.
like the Russell old, not old Russell.
Oh, got you.
Yeah,
Yeah, Russell Wilson, 27 to 34, 177 yards, two touchdowns. Uh, I guess both of you guys scored two touchdowns at a field goal, but they missed an extra point. So the Raiders win
that's how on one.
17-16.
Yeah, and so if you guys watch football and you guys are always saying, "Man, what's an extra point, man? What's good?" Well, now you know. Now you know. Extra points are crucial. People are always like, "Oh, it's a shoe, and he's gonna make it." And then when he does it, you're like, "Oh, it's only 1 point." Well, that was
What?
the
That's the difference between a
that was yeah.
overtime and a win for the Raiders.
Exactly. Uh,
Jimmy G, 20 of 26, 200 yards, two touchdowns, and an interception. Josh Jacobs, 19 carries for 48 yards. Jacoby Myers, 9 catches, 81 yards, two touchdowns. Those are the leaders for the Raiders today.
yeah, but if you check Jimmy G's rushing yards too,
Oh,
he kept like at least three drives alive with his legs, just
9
making
carries
plays.
for Jimmy G. Damn.
Yeah, and on the last drive, it was a pass play. He didn't have anybody open. It opened up the middle, so he took off, picked up a really big first down, and they were able to run the clock out the rest of the game. So yeah, he looks like he has control of the offense, like everybody was talking about when he decided to sign with the Raiders, and the Raiders pursued him because he's been in McDaniel's system before, and he looked like he really had a,
Oh,
a
yeah.
firm grasp of the system. So
It's not just that Jimmy G has been a, competent, semi-starting quarterback
right,
but he's also was with Josh McDaniels when they were with the Patriots a long time
Yeah,
ago, so he does have that like background on the system.
and he looked really good in the system today. He knows all his
Nice.
progressions, went through all his reads. Some of the time, like I said, they're still probably trying to build chemistry together with some of the guys, but they'll find it. It's the first game of the season. I mean, as much as I want to gloat too, but Denver looks pretty good too. Javonte Williams, he had some pretty good runs. They kept it on the ground for a while, and he looks like he's fully recovered from that. Was it
Oh,
the
yep.
ACL tear?
I think it was the
Or
ACL. Yeah.
yeah, so
Javonte Williams, 13 carries, 52 yards,
yeah,
4 catches, 5 yards.
yeah,
So
so
he's back. He's definitely being used again.
yeah.
But
They had P Ryan too. P Ryan was actually man.
nice, yeah.
There was a play where he caught it on the outside, but his left foot was out of bounds when he caught it. But he had an opening. Like he would have scored on the play if the ref didn't see that,
Oh,
or if
gotcha.
he didn't step out of bounds. Like you know what I mean. That's how close it was to him. Like scoring on that play. He had a couple of big catches, like catching out of the backfield. Man, P. Ron looked pretty good. That's another great weapon for Russell Wilson. So, but they played without what is this? I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Jerry
Deluche.
Judy. Oh,
No,
Greg Deluche.
he got hurt, so he didn't
Greg
play. I think
Dulcich.
something like that. Yeah.
Dulcich.
No
It's like
disrespect to my guy. Yeah.
I was like Deluche.
Yeah.
Wait,
Some
it's
uh
Dulcich.
Dulcich or Dulcich. But he got hurt in the second half, so he didn't play the rest of the second
Oh,
half.
okay.
Of course, Jerry Judy was out today too. So yeah, the rookie on our side, defensive back, Jacorian Bennett. Uh, he looked good at times, but he got beat on a double move and had to, just rookie stuff. But core subs, I don't know what's going on right now with my English or but
Joshua?
Sutton my man had a double move, and Jacorian Bennett had to hold him because he got beat so bad on the double move, which
It would have been a touchdown.
if you think about it now, it saved the game because they drove and they couldn't score, and they ended up kicking a field goal. So, smart move on his part.
Nice.
Lot of dummy plays. Like there was a roughing the passer, roughing the kicker, stuff like that. A couple of offside penalties or false start penalties on the linemen that were just like absent-minded plays, like dumb plays. So
Let me tell you how many 10 penalties for the
yeah,
Raiders for 97 yards. Holy shit.
see, that's
Oh,
crazy.
the Broncos matched you guys though. They also had 10 penalties for 83 yards.
But
But that's a lot.
their penalties didn't come at like opportune
Ooh,
times. Like they had
gotcha.
a 3-and-out, and then it was called back because of a holding on the other side of the field, and it was uh, Marcus Peters actually. He was holding on him, illegal holding. So just stuff like that. Like if you're at a 3-and-out and you're about to get a 3-and-out, and something like that happens, but it gets called back because something stupid like that hurts your team. But all in all, that's 7 straight wins for the Raiders against the Broncos, dating back to I think just putting it out
Nice.
there,
That's a good stat.
2000.
Good stat.
Right. Well, because they have 2 of the longest losing streaks in the league right now. They have 7 to the Raiders, and then I think it's like 16 to the Chiefs.
Holy shit. Damn, the Chiefs have been dominating the AFC West for a couple of years now.
And if you're a
Like
Chiefs
half
fan,
a decade at least.
if you're a Chiefs fan, please do not worry. If you're not a Chiefs fan, don't overreact. It's the same thing everybody was saying last year. I was one of them. No, see Tyreek Hill, I mean, he's gone. They can't do it. Kelsey was out one game. That's Andy Reid.
And it fell apart.
It did.
And they have nothing left. None.
Yeah, see, that's what we said last year. Oh no,
Yeah.
they're struggling. No Tyreek Hill. But
What
that's
they end
why
up doing last year? Win the Super Bowl?
I
Whatever.
think it was that. Yeah, that game they won that game. Fuckers. But yeah,
It sucks being in the same division as them.
I know, I know, and it's so funny because they were half joking and half serious about how important the Chargers game was today and the Denver and Las Vegas game because whoever wins would have been in first.
Yep.
So
Yep.
guess who's in first place?
Oh, the Raiders are in first place in the AFC West at 1-0, and the Broncos, Chiefs, and Chargers are all 0-1 to start the year. You
Hey,
fuckers.
we gonna celebrate. We celebrate
Oh,
every
you
week.
guys are gonna start talking so much shit.
Hell yeah! Like I don't want to hear it for the next week.
At least you
Any
number
the rest of
one.
the team in the conference. We're
Hey,
number one in the conference.
you're
Okay,
number one in the league.
pretty much. You see? Yeah. Hey,
You're
I don't want
tied
to
for
hear it.
first.
I don't want to hear it. World champions. I don't care what these track stars have to say about stuff like that.
Oh man, should we talk about how the NBA is not elite basketball and they lose in international competition, even though they have the best and most talented players in the world?
Here we go.
Oh, okay, wait. Well,
Wait till okay. We this is the thing too. Everybody was like, say the same thing when we were sending our college guys who were still winning championships
true.
back in the day. And then the USA was like, you know what? No, okay. If everybody else gets to send their pros, you want to see what's going to happen? Okay.
Doing some
Well,
pros. We'll give you some
hey,
pros.
LeBron, I'm gonna hold you to it. You posted that. You tweeted that
Oh, he retweeted
picture.
that. Yep.
And if you don't get those guys to go with you, man,
This is going to be LeBron's final Olympics, right? There's
hey, if he plays two more, I don't mind. If he brings home the gold,
yeah,
so
true. Definitely going to be exciting to talk more about whether the NBA. No. All right, Raiders won.
we did
We hear that you guys are excited.
first week, you were ahead of in our conference. Want to know in the league. That's what we do. You know, the West was won just like how we're winning it. So
I said that how the West. This was how the West was won.
this is how the West was won.
The Lions woke up against the Chiefs on a Thursday game.
The
And then
Lions
we
look
beat
real,
the.
man. The Lions look real. Dan Campbell is probably my favorite coach in the league because
Well,
it
okay,
looks
what was the
it.
final for that score? Like 17-21 or something? On Thursday
Yeah,
night?
you know what? I didn't pay attention because all I knew was that the Chiefs lost, and
Yeah.
that's all I need to know if the Chiefs are playing. If you tell me the Chiefs lost, I'm not gonna look at the stats no more because
I don't care what happens as long as
right,
the Chiefs take the L.
right.
21-0 or 21-20 at Kansas City.
And let that also be like proof to you that Patrick Mahomes can still make things happen when he doesn't have any receivers.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I
All
was
right.
surprised that Justin Ross sat on the sideline for so long because
Who's that?
wide receiver for the
Chiefs?
yeah. So he was at Clemson, killed it at Clemson, had a spinal injury, but was still drafted. Or was he signed as a? I think he was signed as a rookie free agent, but he
Undrafted
was
free
still
agent?
because of his spinal injury, he was still highly touted coming out of college, like a high draft pick. They were projected to pick him anywhere in the first round if he wasn't that hurt. The Chiefs took a flyer on him. He got better this preseason.
Oh.
He did really well. So I was surprised. I didn't think he was gonna don't put him in
Justin Ross got bitter?
better.
Oh, better. Okay.
He got better. So he got really good.
Stop playing me. Oh,
No,
yeah.
he got good. He was good in preseason, but he was not on the field last night at all. He was dressed. They could have used him, honestly. So he's a big dude. He's like Justin Ross is like 6'5", probably goes like 210 maybe. But he was really good at Clemson, like really good.
I saw a highlight clip packed on Penei Sewell, just running people into the ground.
That's regular. That's
It's
what he
good to
does.
see. But yeah, in his first game against the the reigning Super Bowl champions, for him and the offense and the Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell, Motor City Dan Campbell,
Right.
MCDC, to make a statement. And also with Aaron Rodgers leaving to the New York Jets, that NFC North. Can you hear those sirens?
I can.
Oh damn! I'm recording outside. I don't know. I haven't mentioned this. I talked to this before. I'm
Okay.
uh yeah.
You're
I need
coming through
this
well though.
night. Oh nice. I
Yeah.
need to smoke. Fuck. Dude, let's talk about this now. The Chargers got into a shootout with the Dolphins. And ended up getting shot out. Like like at the end, the Dolphins won 36-34 or something like that.
I know you're a little
Care.
conflicted. I know you're a little conflicted
Hey,
because
happy for the
right,
man, right?
right.
Because Tua Tagovailoa, 466 yards.
466 yards, man.
Wow.
Had
Opens
a
it with a
couple of
bang.
touchdowns. Yeah. Just also man, while we're on it, I also like I get it when he was talking about you gonna be scrappy, let's get scrappy. When have you ever
I
seen
I didn't think
Tua
he needed to say
Tagovailoa
that.
get exactly? And when have you ever? No one has ever seen this full fight. You've been a quarterback your whole life. You're a good kid.
Yeah, he's a good kid. Like
Like,
wouldn't even get in a
but I
fight in
understand.
that
I
situation.
understand. Yeah, I understand. In Hawaii, you know what I mean. People are scrappy out of Hawaii. Anywhere you go, if you think you're gonna get into like a fight, a fist fight, you are not. uh, you can throw a rock in any direction, and you'll hit about 30 people who think they're MMA fighters. Uh,
That are
who
down to fist fight.
that are down to whoop your ass. Like I don't know if all of them. I don't know if all of them will, but uh, if you want some smoke in Hawaii when you're out there, they'll give it to you. I mean, they're not actively out there like, hey, you want to fight? But I mean,
But
if you want to, but if you're
if
there to
you
fight,
show that, yeah.
they won't back down. Hawaii's been
Oh, who does fucker think he
right.
is?
Like I mean, I'll always say this all the time. Like when I was in Hawaii, of course, I'm not actually. I didn't grow up in Hawaii. Like I was there, lived there a while. Grew up mostly in American Samoa, but you live in Hawaii, you pick up pigeon. There's one thing I'll never say in pigeon is, "Right, you like me lick you." Oh, right,
Oh,
you like
bro.
licking, right? You like lickings. No, sorry, won't say. It.
Oh,
Anyway, I also
I'm
just
only
want
in
to
town for a few nights.
right, like, are you sure you? I just want to say that Ryan Clark is a big help to the kids in American Samoa. He the first time he went out there was with Troy Polamalu, and he absolutely just was amazing out there with the kids. Came back, his first interview when he got back, he was still him and Troy Polamalu were still playing. His first interview, he back from that first Troy Polamalu camp. His first interview, he had the only high school shirt on. He Lava Lava was
Hey,
repping all the high schools, all the
wrong
kids
high
out
school.
there. I know it was like probably immature of him to say stuff like about Tua. He did
I mean, what did he
apologize.
say about it? He said Tua
Just he
Tagovailoa isn't really working out. He looks like one of
hey
those strippers over at Onyx.
right. Hey, come on.
He thick.
Are we being honest? If we're being honest, it didn't look like he worked out.
I thought
But
he like had those workout. Everyone has those workout pictures in the summer though,
right,
like because you're
right.
working out
You're
every day.
working
You're
on the
not really,
summer.
yeah.
But I
You're getting
mean,
ready for the season.
right, Tua's getting ready for the season was different. Everybody knows that. He was getting ready to take hits better because as everyone knows,
Oh, yep.
he has a problem with concussions. So and
His problem is that he had a lot of them in a row.
right. And not
Yeah.
like just like those hits were like rough. They weren't like he just banged his head, but like he was getting banged around.
Yo, he
Pause.
lost
Right.
consciousness multiple times. Like he was falling down on the
Right.
field.
He looked like Jacoby Myers did
He
today,
was not
honestly.
laid out, passed
Yeah.
out on the field from
He's,
big hits that slammed his head off of the ground or into
right.
somebody else that was moving the other direction. That's
But
that. Yeah,
I
that
I
messes you
get
up.
it. I get it. You know what I mean? You do get frustrated when people are always like, always got some kind of slick or sly shit to say about you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I can see that though, right? Because Tua
yeah,
always been the good, like,
yeah. He's always been taking it to the chin and just been like, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
It's
brush it
cool.
off. So he's never really responded
So
like that.
so
So
I respect him in the fact that like if you don't say something at some
right,
time,
right,
people are just gonna. I just it's sad that it
exactly.
was Ryan Clark because Ryan Clark is really big with the Polynesian community. Like even Jesse Sapolu put out a tweet and was like, you know what I mean?
RC's family or something.
Right, Ryan Clark's family. He's a big help when we go to American Samoa. He's part of the like big help to the culture. So, you know what I
Uh,
mean?
do you, do you
Like,
think hella people are mad at Ryan Clark about this still
there
in the
like
Polynesian community?
you had like Poly Twitter like going off. Like Poly Twitter was going off.
Fuck
People
Ryan
were making
Clark.
like yeah, people were making TikToks
What?
like, and there's a lot of people who aren't like privy to a lot of the things that he does within the community. Like he's a like honestly like there's a lot of dudes that like would consider him like one of the ooses. So you know
I don't know if he's that close, but I can see, yeah, definitely see like
like
people connecting and him being a helper in our community and having visited and been to those camps that Troy brought down to Veterans Memorial
what
Stadium in
this is what I'm
Tafuna.
saying. Like if Troy Polamalu gonna consider him Moose and Jesse Sapolu vouching for him, you know what I mean? It counts for something.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I don't think people. I mean, I definitely don't.
all
I
of
didn't even
this,
think that was a big deal.
right? All of this just to say that Tua's killing it. Whatever he was doing in the
Yeah, yeah. I
offseason,
saw.
whatever. Sorry, it had to be against your team. Uh, the Dolphins
Oh
look real,
man,
man. The Dolphins look real. The Dolphins look real.
nah.
I know it's just the first game. You know what I mean? But like I said, like even like the Raiders aren't slated to do or like projected to do great things this year. The Dolphins actually are because they have a lot of really great pieces that they've been putting together that they have now on the field, and the team looks healthy.
Mm.
So um they look like they've really been practicing together in the offseason. You know what I mean? Like,
Bro, the connection between Tua and his receivers, especially one Tyreek Hill,
oh my gosh,
was evident.
that last touchdown, that throw couldn't have been any better. Like, there's no way he could have placed it anywhere else on the field. You know what I
Oh, that
mean?
was the like just
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know which DB was covering, but
Michael Davis.
he was covering. Like, I
He
don't
was
know how
so
the ball got
covered.
to him. I
Michael
was
Davis is so much bigger than Tyreek Hill. Michael Davis wasn't looking for the ball, right? He was just face covering
right.
Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill runs a fade up the right side, and Tua just lofts it up there. And I
Right
don't
between their
know,
helmets. That's
yo,
all you
he
see.
dropped it
All
in.
you see is him go like this, and then it goes right over the DBs. Like it might have just touched his tail. I don't know,
I
but
feel like it went between the DB's helmet and shoulder, and then right into
right into
Tyreek's
Tyreek's.
basket. And that was, I mean, right there, I was just like, damn.
Right.
I
Not,
mean, what can you do? Like this,
and not to take away from Cheetah, because I mean, he had 211 yards. I
bro.
think he had two touchdowns.
15 targets, 11 catches, 215 yards, two touchdowns,
See, but that
three
throw,
touchdowns, two
that's
touchdowns.
all they talked about was his stats. But that throw, if not anything else, you talk about Tua's 466 yards. He threw the two
Yeah,
touchdowns. You know what I mean? That throw alone did. I mean, just that was great. But just so I mean, so they're not perfect. The Dolphins aren't perfect because Justin Herbert and the Chargers they put up numbers too on offense, and
yeah.
Justin Herbert did Justin Herbert things. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Um, dare say top five in the league. But yeah, so just the Miami Dolphins probably need some help on defense.
Yo, their defense like was so close to sacking Justin Herbert so many times today. I feel like the Chargers got lucky. The Chargers were lucky to be in this game. They had a bunch of they had an interception early. They had a bunch of fumbles early, and it was still a close game. If you get a bunch of like turnovers, not only are you getting a chance to score, you're taking away their chance to score on that drive, right? So it's kind of like a double up. You should be turning turnovers into touchdowns,
Right.
ideally, and that really. But even a turnover just in a 3 and out is good because it can affect your field position. But if you're maxing out and you're getting a turnover and turning it into 6 points, that's where you can really start to find, like in the Sunday night football game, the Dallas Cowboys up 33-0 because they had, two defensive or special teams touchdowns.
They're up by 40 points now.
Nice. Yeah, we're recording this Sunday night. We usually record Mondays, but yeah, to get our recaps and get that info out for what has happened in the NFL. Yeah, we're going to try to record Sunday night and get it out Monday. Instead of, dropping it Tuesday, and now it's like 2-day-old news and it doesn't include the Monday night football game. I was like, oh man, we got to make some changes. Appreciate you jumping on today. Yeah, so the Chargers chargered. And then on the last drive, they had 1:45, 2 timeouts. They got the ball at the 25-yard line. Justin Herbert immediately intentional grounding penalty on the first play. It turns it into 2nd and 20. 10-yard penalty with a loss of down. Ew. 2nd and 20 turns into a coverage. Turns into a freaking. I thought it was a cover sack, but really it looked like the line crumbled.
He came right
from the snap. Yeah, and then like 2 or 3 guys got into one big push in the middle and just broke free. Sack on Justin Herbert turns 2nd and 20 into 3rd and 30, and I'm just like, what's going on? We picked up, a little chunk on 3rd down, but on 4th down, another sack.
Sack.
Yeah, not the way wanted the season to start, but it's not how you start. You know what I'm saying? It's how you finish. 16 more games. Chargers definitely showed that their offense can bang.
I would be saying the same thing if my team lost, but they did it.
So you get to ride the number 1 train this week.
We're number 1 in the conference.
Nice.
If there's anything
I think the Chargers are going to be okay.
If I was a Chargers fan, what I'd be worried about is what you guys didn't have last season again was like both line help, D line and O line, and it kind of looks like that's probably where the problem areas are right now again. But what are you most worried about just from this first game? Not like worried about but what do you think they need to improve on going on through the rest of the season?
Yeah, I thought the offensive line was really good to start, but I feel like in the second half and really in the fourth quarter there, they just started. They got in a bad situation. The defense, I mean, I have to look up Raheem Mostert's numbers. I don't think he had a super great day on the ground, but on the ground, giving up a bunch of rushing yards is what I'm most worried about. Oh, nice. We only gave up 70 yards on the ground today, but we gave up almost 500 through the air. Every time a Dolphins receiver broke wide open, whatever it was, scheme, breaking ankles, just getting past somebody or maybe like the second play or whatever, Tua was finding them. He was reading it. He was making the right throws. He was making the right reads and getting the ball out expeditiously too. He was roping a bunch to wide open guys who would just like break and it wouldn't necessarily be like the ball's right there. They would be running a couple steps wide open until it would just be like, oh, yep, I got you. And then he would just put it on him. It's good to see. I hope it continues for, the whole season. Don't let this be Tua's best game. I swear to God, you better go. Keep going, bro. Keep going. Don't make this win-loss worthless.
Next week, Tua's going to have like 110 yards.
On the ground, yeah, bro.
But I also think that that's one of Tua's strengths, though, is how accurate he was and how he reads defenses. Like everybody talks about how his arm isn't necessarily strong, which is crazy because when I texted the group when I was like, wow, to a wow. It was a throw that he made on the run while someone was grabbing his jersey from behind, and he
Nice.
found Tyreek right before the touchdown to end the
Nice.
game. Like it was crazy. He stepped up, and then he was like, it looked like he was gonna make a run for it to try to get a first, but he saw Tyreek just a little bit of space between him and the DB, and just chucked it out there like a good. It was a strong throw. So, like, but I think today really like showed off to his strengths, which is his accuracy and the way he can read defenses and the grasp that he has of the offense right now. So I think Mike McDaniels was like a perfect coach for him. You know what I mean?
Yo,
So
yeah, I think yeah, Mike McDaniel seems like a coach that cares about his players. Um,
he also seems really weird, but hey, whatever.
Yo, right? Aren't we all? Aren't we all kind of weird? But he like wears it out. He doesn't care. He's like
No,
Jamal
he
Williams in like the yeah, I'm anime. I just play football to support my anime collection. Like he's just like not afraid to be himself and like
no, yeah, not at
be
all.
a little weird and like his dry ass humor I find fucking hilarious. Like
That's why
that's
it's
my
hilarious
shit.
because
Yeah,
he's like, it's like, so you don't even know if he's trying to be funny or not. He's just
exactly.
like, it's just yeah,
Yeah,
and you
yeah. That covers up a lot of like probably like any ignorance he has. Is just people are like, is he? Does he really not know, or is he just fucking
right,
with me?
right,
I don't even want to ask. Ha 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 ha. Yeah,
yes.
get him, coach.
But yeah, hey, shout out to Tua, shout out to
Oh,
Benny, two great games. Also, shout out to the Soul family because um, man, I know their father. I know their mom is, but when growing up, I used to play basketball at the park, and I was good friends with their uncle Michael. But their father Gabe also was one of the guys I learned how to play basketball with at Lions Park. Like he went to high school with my older cousins who were like my brothers. He was if I'm not mistaken, a tight end at Top High School, really good too.
Warriors.
Yeah. But shout out to Gabriel Sewell Sr. and his wife for they three sons in the NFL.
Hey,
Three sons on yeah,
congratulations.
three sons on so they cheer for the Lions this year, they cheer for the Bears, and they cheer for the Saints, which is dope, man. That's 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 crazy. You know what I mean?
That sounds like generational wealth.
Right. And just I mean, but you think about the hard work that it takes to get one of your kids to that, you know what I mean? Just to get them to, one of your
Yeah,
kids to play college football. And I'm not talking about like the sacrifices they make on the field or through like practice or training, but like even schoolwork. Like imagine that. Like all three kids have to make the grade, do the work, play ball, keep up with their grades again. You know what I mean? Still come home and do family stuff. That's so real great testament to how great they raised their boys and were able to get them out there. So
it's a good system they got going.
yeah. So shout out to them, man. Shout out to the Soul family.
And yeah, shout out to the Soul family and what is it? Tuaniga Manuolepola, Donnie Tangovailoa on his great game today. 466 yards, three
Man,
touchdowns.
even
Great way
the
to and the win.
and the Tango Baido family has one more son coming up as well, who's the star quarterback at the University of Maryland. He's a Terrapin, transferred out of Bama for good reason because the quarterback that he transferred decided that he wasn't going to beat out was the number one pick this year in the NFL draft.
Bryce Young.
So
He was
yeah,
like, I'm gonna go.
so,
Mm.
he made a business decision about playing time, and it was good for him because he went out to Maryland, and he's one of the top quarterbacks in the country this year. He was last year as well. So shout out to both families, the Sewells and the Tonga. Good stuff, guys.
Bro,
Good stuff.
doing it.
Yeah,
There's Islander families doing it.
right.
Get after it.
And man, you know what? If we're good, like while we're here, also shout out to DJ Young who transferred
Hey,
from Oregon. I mean, sorry, to Clemson to Oregon State, and ha, Dabo and Clemson Ha ha
Losers.
ha. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't egregious when I mean also he's a coach, he's gotta do what he thinks is best for the team, but ha ha ha. DJ is at Oregon State. I think they 2-0. Did they play this weekend too? I know I watched them play the first weekend of college football. DJ had a great game. He accounted for 5 touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 3 in the air. Sorry. And then I think they played again this weekend. And so
A 55-7 versus UC Davis this week.
nice, nice. So I
Damn.
also I've his father also Big Dave is an amazing athlete. He was in American Samoa. He came down, lived there for a little bit. He played on the American Samoa national team that went to Australia. I can't remember the year. Sorry, I apologize, but I saw this man at Lions Park. He was about I say 6'3", 6'4", maybe about 270, 360, and just dunk it with ease. 360. That's how athletic he was. They went to Australia during warmups. Um they had to postpone the game because they had to fix the backboard. He went up during
Jeez.
warmups and shattered the backboard on the dunk
Hey.
in warmup.
Wow, Big Dave.
So athletic fan is another. He also has another son who's the star defensive end at the University of Oregon, who just with no mercy took apart Portland State 2 weekends or last weekend.
Jeez.
And
81 to
then
7 or something.
yeah, and then won an exciting game this last night with the last second interception in the end zone.
Nice.
So yeah, he didn't not Mateo didn't make the interception, but Oregon did, and they won. So 2 sons again, playing one at Oregon State, one at the U of O. Good to see, man, these guys shining. And hopefully we get to see a lot of these other players that we identify with because they're Polynesian do great things this year. Frankie Louvu, Daniel Ikwale, Jelani Savai, my man at Pittsburgh. What's his name? Sorry.
Pittsburgh, Isaac
Isaac
Somalo,
Somalo,
left
you
guard,
know,
killed
right.
it.
Yeah, he's killing. I mean, I didn't realize in my head that when he moved, he only moved like pretty much down the road from like Philly to Pittsburgh. Like I was
Just went
thinking
to the
about
other side of the
right.
state.
I was thinking about it. It's like, huh, he didn't even go that far.
He switched conferences, but he didn't really even have to
Right. I mean,
switch
they
states.
probably yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, the last scheduled Civil War game between Oregon State and Oregon is November 24th in Eugene, 5:30 p.m. on Fox. Tickets as low as $97. That's the upper level. Is $100 to get in that game. That is not the most expensive game left on Oregon State's schedule, though. Do you know what game that is?
Colorado.
Yeah, at Colorado for 141 minimum.
Hey man,
Goddamn.
I'm in a good space right now. We're not gonna talk about Colorado right now.
We'll save the Colorado talk for the midweek episode. DJ, man, didn't even have to stay in this game so long versus UC Davis. 8 of 13, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns, another touchdown on the ground before he handed the reins over to the backup quarterback. They got San Diego State coming up next, so that's a big jump between UC Davis and.
Before we get back to the pro game, I think his game is going to translate a lot better to the pro game when he gets there.
DJ,
yeah,
yep,
yeah, 6'5". I want to say he's like, I wouldn't be gracious and say he's like 230. He looks bigger. Maybe he might be bigger. Maybe I know in the summer he was trying to get down to like 220. He likes that playing with, but he's a big kid. He's mobile, but not in the way like you think of like Lamar Jackson, you know. But he's also
mobile
six
like Tom
five.
Brady.
No,
Mobile in the
wait.
pocket.
Like
Mobile
he can move,
agile.
he can run, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like also he's 6'5" and 220. Like if you're a DB, that's not the quarterback you're trying to tackle. You know what I mean?
Damn, you're going low.
Yeah.
If you're a DB and you see a big ass quarterback coming out.
But he does have a cannon of an arm. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, it'll be nice to see. Um, God willing, I'm not gonna count his eggs before for him, but if we get to see him in the pros, I think his game translates a lot better to the pros. Uh, let's stay on the West Coast because I was talking to one of my former players from Tafuna High School. Her name is uh, Gina Otuafi. In Samoa, before she was married, she was Gina Tautolo. But she's a San Francisco fan. I have so
Hey,
I'm related and associated with so many of those guys. I hate
Niners
it.
gang, Niner
But
Nation,
I
quest for
asked her,
six.
right, I asked her about the season, what she thought about it, and she was, I mean, she's taking it in stride. She really loves the team, but she's not ready to just start spouting out like I am because we're in first place in our conference. Not about to start putting out the it's our season talk, but hey, I'll do it because I don't know whenever else in the season I'll get to do it. But yeah, she was saying she's not ready to
Before
cry
the Chiefs start winning again.
right before Kelsey gets back. Damn it. Uh I won't lie, man. I'm a big Raiders fan. I love my Raiders, but Kelsey owns us. Oh my gosh. If you see the stats that he has against the Raiders, I just want to shoot myself when I read it. But anyway, yeah, Gina was just saying like she's not ready to be like this is our season yet, but she does love the team. The game today, she said, they had to grind it out. It was a little grimy for her. She did point out also that the O line probably needs some help because it is TJ Watt though. It's hard to stop TJ Watt, but it
True.
didn't matter who was in front of TJ Watt today. He kind of she was saying that he was just like having his way with whoever was in front of TJ Watt. Um, yeah, and the defense, like when the Steelers started to pick it up, the defense was kind of still just laid back at the time. They didn't really have that much of an urgency later in the game.
Yeah, I mean they
Uh,
were what up 20 to 0 to start the game.
yeah, and what I mean? And she was saying that Purdy could learn a lesson or two from Tua about moving in the pocket and throwing to his left.
Oh,
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. So Gina's a big 49ers fan. She's also a big Lakers fan. Sometimes I think that goes hand in hand. And that irritates the shit out of me, Laker and 49er fans. Oh my gosh. I love Gina to death. Gina was one, she was my shooting guard. She wasn't much of a point guard. She was my shooting guard while I was coaching top of my high school. But she watches football and she loves her Niners. So I think her analysis of the team,
nice.
analysis, good word. I think it was spot on. Like yeah, their O line they're missing McGlinchey big time. Uh me
I
so
just their offense seems to just put Brock Purdy into really simple situations, kind of
right.
like Tua today, where it was like there's gonna be somebody wide open
You
within
just
the
gotta
first
find him.
4 seconds.
Yeah,
You just gotta find him, put
yeah.
it on him. We'll tell
But
you
it,
where to look, even.
but just like how Tua has Tyreek, it's nice that Purdy has CMC because
bro, Christian
like you
McCaffrey,
like you
jeez
said,
Louise.
hey, that guy's kind of a good running back, right? Yeah, he's all right. He has his moments.
He has his moments like today 22 carries, 152 yards, and a touchdown on the ground. He included 3 yards or 3 catches and 17 yards through the air, a long of 65 yards. That was his
Yeesh.
touchdown. Jeez, yeah, that was it's cool to start 20 to 0 versus Kenny Pickett. It's like, yeah, forcing Kenny Pickett to throw, what is it, 45, 46 times. You're gonna have a good game, I think. So the Niners did what they were supposed to do, what they were expected to do. I can't imagine how Steeler Nation would have been talking if they won this fucking game. I
Oh gosh.
cannot imagine. They were
Hey,
like,
no,
Kenny
you
Pickett
can.
is Joe Montana.
You know why you
Joe
can?
Montana.
Because because the same way these 49ers are on my Facebook feed is the same way Pittsburgh would have been. Oh my gosh. I I,
Bro,
I
with
had to
Kenny
go.
Pickett beating, yeah.
I mean, Brock Purdy's.
I wasn't. I didn't think. I thought Brock Purdy was a fluke. It's a
Think so?
seventh round pick, the last pick in the draft. You know, nobody.
I,
You saying everybody else missed on this?
but I mean, I think it's just like you said though, like McFlurry. I know that's not his name, guys. I think he really, and not to say that Brock Purdy's stupid, but I think he really simplified the offense to where Brock Purdy doesn't have to
Oh,
read too much and like do too much. You know what I mean? He gives them these options, simplified options to go out there and do what he does, what he did last season. You know, have great
yeah.
games. So
Or you
it's
can, if you're playing a seventh round quarterback, that means you're paying him a seventh round salary, right?
right,
And the
right.
Niners lead the league in like the highest average salary or total salaries for like running back, wide receiver,
Yep.
defensive line, linebacker, all sorts of positions. So they're just like, fuck it, we're gonna go all in right now. We're gonna while we have this cheap quarterback who can run my offense. I'm fucking gonna pay all the yeah. Bring CMC in. Let's draft some wide receivers. Let's fucking run it up. Our defense is smacking people. We got the defensive player of the year signed to a big ass extension right before the season started. He came out, looked great. Nick Bosa looked great. Makes me like hate having his brother. Fucking Big Bear. Come on. Uh, I don't know. Joey Bosa just looks pissed off sometimes. I don't, I don't like
He
it.
plays
Like
he plays for the
it's a little
Chargers.
racist vibes. Like just like
He,
these
they are racist.
motherfuckers. Yeah, well, you're not supposed to talk about it.
Man, see, the thing is too, like, I get it, man. If you're a Fresco fan and you're one of his teammates, it's nice to have Nick Bosa back. But do you guys not understand that this man was ready to not play for? Yeah, I know everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, he deserves that money." He still had years on his contract. He was still getting paid that money. But it was, well, he's just trying to secure,
Is that
you
your
know.
voice? Is that your
That's,
voice for people?
yeah, because people irritate the fuck out of me.
No.
uh, Yeah, and what I mean, it's just like, oh well, he's just trying to, make the most of it. You guys are telling me this like he's not already a multi-millionaire. Like,
It's not about what I have. It's what I deserve over the next 4 years.
well, what if he gets injured? But he chose to play this game. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he woke up one day and God was like, "Hey, football
Free
player."
market. If we're doing capitalism, we're doing capitalism. You got to run with that. If you're the one holding on to the goods, fucking they yeah, they're just picketing and forcing the team, the man, the machine to cater to their demands.
I mean,
I
I
don't
get it,
disagree with
man.
it. I get it. I understand
I
the
understand,
business
but
of it.
right, but at the same time, what I mean? I always heard and I always believe that the name on the front of the jersey is always greater than the name on the back. So,
Oh
you
my
know,
gosh, Forrest, you're such a classic man.
I try to be, try to be.
The
But yeah,
Niners win 30-7. Did you see anything from the Steelers that might have been uh worthwhile?
hey, they had a good no, not at all.
Damn. Let's
Not
read
at
off some
all.
stats. 31 of 46 for 232 yards, one touchdown, two picks for Pickett. Najee Harris led the Steelers with 6 carries, 31 yards. And Allen Robinson, leading receiver for the Steelers, 5 catches, 64 yards on 8 targets. Those all would have been season highs for him last year with the Rams.
I was just about to say that's actually a pretty good game for Allen Robinson.
That's an amazing game for
Like that's
Allen
an amazing
Robinson.
game.
I
Which is
mean,
I
Allen
think
Robinson Bears, that's not a great game. But
no,
Allen Robinson Rams, that's
right, right,
good
right.
shit.
You know how bad it was for Pittsburgh today? There were Pittsburgh fans on my Facebook feed that were just like, well, I can already see the rest of the season. Fuck. I was like,
Wow.
bro, it's
They're
one
done.
game. A lot of people were just like, man, we're gonna have to live through this the whole season again. I was like, bro, yo, shout out to my guy Bola Sangalia Frost, man.
Shut up, Frost.
He's a big him and my guy Tim, man. Tim, so I feel bad for you guys right now, but it's early, man. It's only game one, man. You know what I mean?
Yo, Deontay Johnson suffered a bad hamstring injury. It looked really bad
Yeah,
when they cut to commercial.
there's a lot of dudes that are just I don't know what it is, but a lot of hamstring injuries the first games of the season. Like there was dudes that had to
Yeah,
sit
yeah,
out games
yeah.
today because of hamstring. Darren Waller was also listed, wasn't
Yo,
supposed to play, but
fuck Darren
he,
Waller's man.
he
No, I don't mean that. Fuck Darren Waller's fantasy day today because I went all in on Darren Waller as like a mid round. Like, let me take him as the
hey,
sixth
I
tight
got him
end.
in one of my leagues too, man.
Oh man, that was tough. But I mean, whatever. It's just fantasy. It's just money. I mean,
You know what? You know who we haven't talked about since we're talking about fantasy is I have Brandon Ayuk sitting on my bench in one of my
same,
leagues.
bro. It's like
He,
35 points on the
I
bench.
have 50 points between and him and
Anthony Richardson.
well, I wasn't gonna play him over Tua, but he also had 20. What is the
Damn.
receiver's name? Uh
For the
for the
Colts,
Colts?
Michael Pittman.
Between
Jeez, yeah,
Ayuk
he had
and
a great
Pittman,
game too. I would
I
have won if
have
I played Ayuk.
57 points sitting on my bench. And I'm just barely beating this
Welcome to
guy
week
in
one,
that league. Oh
baby.
my gosh.
Oh, you're still winning?
I'm almost no, I'm down by 1 point, but
Get it.
I still have Dalvin Cook, please. I everybody
Hey,
who
bro.
passed you up, I'm the
I
one that picked you.
I keep thinking Dalvin Cook is still got to be a great running back, right? And if you put
Yeah,
him
of
on a
course.
good team with a good quarterback and good weapons to take the
Yeah.
focus off of the run game, Dalvin Cook's gonna be great.
He's
I
gonna
don't know why
play
so many
with
people
Aaron
thought he was
Rodgers.
done just because the Vikings didn't want to pay him. Like he's still a serviceable running back, probably above average still.
What they didn't understand was the Vikings didn't want to pay him long money because you know what I mean he
Mm,
isn't young anymore, so they're
yeah,
not willing to give him like a 4 or 5 year contract worth $34 million, which is probably unheard of for a running back right now. I don't know if they would have gave him 34 for 4, but they're not willing to pay him that much money. They don't think he's not a great running back. They don't think he's going to be that great of a running back later into that contract.
in like year 3, year 4, year
Yeah,
5.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's what it is. And Mattinson's younger, and he's been serviceable as a backup, not only as a backup, but as a plug-in for when Dalvin Cook's been hurt. So they were willing to roll the dice on Madison. Plus, they got a couple new weapons, and Jordan Addison, who also sitting in my bench in one of my
Bruh,
leagues,
big
who put up
touchdown.
like, oh my gosh, I think he had like 19 today. It's
But he
killing
was
me.
the X receiver. Justin Jefferson was the receiver in the slot next to him. And the defense was playing quarters. Justin Jefferson hits an out route, about 10 and out. And the left corner and the safety both go for that. And Jordan Addison hits this skinny post and it just dimes him up. Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins, I think, is second in the league or second or third in yards, passing yards today.
Oh, he's also
Um,
probably also on a losing team because they lost today too. But
yeah, he's also at the bottom of the league.
right,
Let me say
you
one
know
thing for
who's not at
Steelers
the bottom of the
fans.
league though?
Is it the Raiders?
Yeah,
Fucker. I will say one interesting thing about the Steelers to wrap their game up is Jalen Warren only had 6. Jalen Warren's the backup running back, right? A lot of people
right,
were
right. They don't
saying
know.
he's just as good as Najee Harris, could be taking over Najee's stuff because Najee may not be, that number one pick or that first round pick that they took him as.
Mhm.
Jalen Warren, 3 carries. Najee Harris, 6 carries, right? Jalen Warren only had 6 yards on the ground, but he was tied for second on the Steelers today with 6 targets and second on the team with 5 catches. I didn't think he was catching the ball that much, but he seems to be like their straight up third down back.
Well, he was their third down back last year too. That's what he was. A lot for them. They're kind of like thunder and lightning. He was a lightning to Najee Harris's thunder.
I thought he was more like a small thumper. I didn't think he was a catcher like that.
No, I mean
Nice.
also fun fact. Jalen Warren is Polynesian for all of you folks who didn't know.
Hey, makes
Uh,
sense now. See,
yeah, so yeah, So root for him too, because that's what we do in our community.
You root
Uh,
for our people. If you need a
yeah.
reason to root for them, he's one of
So
us.
you got Isaac Seumalo and Warren on that team. I think they still also have Tyson Alwala, if I'm not mistaken. I think they still have him.
Oh, dang.
He was actually a big part of their defense before. So
The
um,
Steelers?
yeah. But if you guys don't know, if people are wondering why, I know people who watch football know why Jalen Warren and Najee Harris only had 6 and you said 3 carries each.
Yeah.
It's because once you get behind in the game, it's hard to run the ball. Like I'm pretty sure there. I don't know if he was in panic mode, but I'm pretty sure coach was trying to catch up, and the fastest way to do that is to pass.
46 pass attempts for
That's a lot
Kenny Pickett. That's a
for a
lot.
guy who didn't do shit last year either. But
Yeah.
uh, yeah, to put your faith in that guy when you had 2 good running backs on the team, that's kind of I don't know. But I'm not an NFL coach, so you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
we're just, we just have watched for a long time and have some ideas. We're just comparing,
right,
what we see.
right.
Let's another. See,
I'll
what have
go to
we
another
done?
game.
What have
We'll
we
talk
done so
about
far?
Cincinnati because Jamar Chase screwed me today.
Oh my gosh! Since in Cincinnati, the Brown, no, Cincinnati visiting Cleveland, and everywhere up the East Coast this week was just rain. Uh,
I don't care, man. If you're gonna call the Cleveland Browns elves and then you go out there and do nothing,
yeah. Joe Burrow, who is the
the
richest
highest
player in
in
NFL history,
history.
turned in 14 completions out of 31 attempts for 82 yards, no touchdowns. No touchdowns there. His counterpart for the Browns, sexual assaulter Deshaun Watson, 16 of 29, 154 yards, a touchdown, an interception, and a rushing touchdown. Nick Chubb, 106 yards, like every week. Elijah Moore actually led the Browns receiving core. I feel like Elijah Moore is going to be good, but he's also like one of the last guys on my bench, so I have to like drop him soon if I have to make a change.
I think you should play him. Elijah Moore was good in New York too.
Yeah,
What
that
it
was
was is
weird.
they just it's like I don't know, maybe they were waiting, like maybe they were I don't know tanking, or maybe it was a strategy to maybe get a better pick in the draft and not play him as much or whatever, because that's what he wanted. He wanted to play, and they weren't playing him as much, so he asked for a trade. Uh, and now he's in a place where they're going to use him because
Yep.
I mean, that again, if you saw him play today, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. So yeah, I mean, Fryermuth also got a touchdown, so I can't be mad at him.
Fire
Uh,
move.
for Pittsburgh, of course. I'm just talking about fantasy, that's why. But Jamar Chase
Oh,
just, man, he was my first pick.
yo, Jamar Chase. I mean, well, you can't really do anything if your
No,
quarterback's
yeah,
not. I mean, Joe Burrow got subbed out the last
right.
series or whatever.
And a quote from Jamar Chase after the game was, he says, "Man, I'm just frustrated because I called these fools elves and we lost to a bunch of elves."
Oh, that's what. Oh, okay.
Doubling down, he had to
He's
double
like,
down.
I'm just mad because I
So I'm
called
just
these
mad we
fools
lost to
L's and
someone.
we lost to them.
So
I mean, what is that? That's a division game. Cleveland now ahead of the division.
yeah, you know who else is
Steelers
ahead in their
lost.
division?
AFC North, AFC Ravens won versus the Texans. So the
With
Ravens
it.
and the Browns are tied 1-0.
And the Ravens lost J.K. Dobbins again for
Oh
another season
man.
lost, man. That's so tough, man.
Yeah.
Just because you think about the work that it took him to get back from.
Mhm.
I, was it a torn Achilles last year too,
Wasn't it
or was it a
ACL?
well, either one, man? I mean, so now he's coming back from. He has to come back from a torn Achilles. That's tough, man. 2 years in a row, like, and physically, yes, it's tough, but think about having to prepare yourself mentally again. Uh, if you guys didn't know, Lance is part of the new Fast and the Furious movie.
Oh, my bad.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Man, hey, man.
Meow.
I
Sorry.
say, hey,
I
Dom
live
Toretto.
like a couple hundred yards away from a freeway and a straightaway that runs parallel to it.
Lance is going to replace The Rock in the new Fast and the Furious movie. So,
Yeah.
hey,
Uncle Dwayne doesn't have time. I'm jumping in there. Also, he has some like actor guild teamster thing. So I'm gonna jump in there. I'm gonna be Hobbs.
but
Hobbs, cousin.
Hobbs.
Let's
Oh
get to
god.
work. Daddy gotta go.
Oh my
Let's
gosh.
move.
But yeah, tough for him mentally to have to tell
Um,
yourself that at this point, just on like the bad side of things, and mentally, he's probably thinking too, like maybe he should retire now, give up the game. Is it
oh
worth him
no.
trying? I'm just saying, like that could be one of the thoughts mentally for him,
Oh,
like that
okay,
he's
yeah.
dealing with. You know what I mean? Like that's tough 2 years in a row. But these guys, this is what they do, and I'm pretty sure he has good people around him to keep him motivated. If coming back to play is what he really wants to do, uh, but it showed because it was a sloppy game. Even Lamar Jackson had a horrible game. If we're grading it by fantasy grades, he had a really shitty game because he had like what 8 points?
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
in 7.54 I think I saw Sammy was playing him
yeah.
versus
So
him.
that's I think I mean, and then this stat also counts. You might tell me, well, that doesn't count as a quarterback. No, because Lamar Jackson is a different kind of quarterback. I think he only had 35 on the ground today.
Yeah, 6 carries, 38 yards, no touchdowns.
Yeah, so
And two fumbles, one lost.
but they pulled out the win. Who'd they play?
They played the Houston Texans. CJ Stroud's first game,
Oh,
his first pass, tipped it up. He had to catch it, like he tipped it up to himself. I think they said the last quarterback to do that was Brett Favre. His first career pass was
oh
to himself.
Tony
But
thought you were gonna
Desmond
say
Ritter, this is Desmond Ritter's second season, but his first pass this season was also tipped up and caught by Desmond Ritter for
oh wow.
-6 yards. Dummy, tip it down.
Right, slap it down, dummy.
Don't catch it unless you're gonna run.
That's funny. Also, Will Anderson got his first sack of his NFL
Hey,
career today. So
yo,
I
I
think
can't. They got the second and third overall picks. They got
right.
back-to-back picks. Not only that, but the second and third overall picks to take C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson. Man,
I
that's
don't
a
know.
lot.
Right. You know, everybody who got a second pick in the draft this year, doesn't matter what kind of draft. I hope you guys lose.
Oh, hey, I could have had the first pick.
I hope that guy loses too.
Yo,
Speaking of our second guy, our first pick in the draft, Talanoa Smith, his Eagles, they had a tough time tonight with New England. It was a back and forth game tonight. I think
yeah,
that
what was going on? I was watching the Chargers game. I watch Red Zone unless the Chargers are
right
playing,
playing,
right?
yeah.
But yeah, I was seeing that that game was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Mac Jones like threw to Kendrick Bourne. Shout
Shout
out Bourne blessed.
shout out Kendrick Bourne, man.
2 touchdowns.
Oregon's very own, or Washington, actually, I guess. Uh, yeah,
Portland,
two. Yeah, actually, Portland and Eastern Washington.
Eastern
So you know,
Washington.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
gotcha.
yeah, yeah. But he does live out here in Portland. Trains in Portland. But yeah,
Prime time fit.
yeah, he had two touchdowns. Mac Jones threw two. Darius Slay had a really big
70
pick six
yard pick
today. 70 yard
six.
pick. I think that was the first score of the game. But by all means, the game was tough on both ends. Um, so let's go. But you're excited to see a lot of the additions and uh and some of the players from last year mesh for Philadelphia, especially their D line, which is sheesh. That D line is crazy. They got the two
Oh
boys
my
from
gosh.
Georgia on
Yep.
that D
Yep.
line. They still got Graham. They got the linebackers from Georgia. Like they have like half of Georgia's championship defense on their squad. So
Dakota Dean,
yeah. So
Ringo.
uh Smith too, the other linebacker.
Oh no, Nolan Smith.
Yeah, Smith. So yeah, their defense looks pretty stout. They didn't really lose anybody except for Gardner. who
Oh
had a
yeah.
win today out in Detroit and is telling everybody, I mean, yesterday, Thursday, sorry, uh, put out a quote that he feels like Detroit is different. You know what I mean? Like they're doing things different this year, and he really
All
likes
right. Okay.
where the team's going. So, like his words, you know what I mean? You want to take into consideration because he did go to the Super Bowl last year. They didn't win, but they win. Um, not a dig at you and Eddie, Noah, if you guys are listening. But they pulled out the win. And then the Giants, it's official. The Giants just got smacked 40-0 by the Cowboys.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game, a bunch of defensive scores, but I don't know. I thought Brian Dable was going to be this offensive mastermind, which is why I like picked up a lot of Daniel Jones, a lot of
Yes.
freaking
See,
the tight end Darren Waller, and now I'm like, did
this
the
is the
tight
thing.
end in Buffalo really hit like that?
This
Even
is
when he
this
was in
is
Buffalo?
this is the thing, man. You if you're an offensive mastermind, you still need your pieces to for your offense to
Yeah,
be
what the hell happened?
because Daniel Jones, I still believe is not worth the toilet paper or the ink that he signed his contract on.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but
He's
I
definitely not
mean,
my Holmes. You know, I mean,
no, Saquon's gonna have a lonely and long season this year. Uh,
Saquon 12 carries, 51 yards, three catches, 12 yards.
Darren Waller is really great. I will always say that he's at least top three tight ends in the league when he's healthy, which he is not. He wasn't
Right.
scheduled to play. He was questionable to play this week with a hamstring injury, which has been hampering him since his days with the Raiders last season. So if it's still hurting him now, that's I don't know. That's going to be something to worry about, maybe
Well,
because it's a I don't know. It's a lingering hamstring issue.
for Darren Waller,
Yeah,
5 targets, 3 catches, 36 yards. Definitely, that's not enough. Five
not
times, that's not
not
enough.
yeah, not Waller esque. But if you're playing with the bruised hamstring, hurt, anything hamstring related, it's hard to run on that to get any uh you know how they say players are shifty. It's hard to be shifty like that. Your change of movement, it's hard. So yeah,
This fool had 13 carries. Daniel Jones. That's a lot of carries, especially for a quarterback.
right.
I mean, for a quarterback, that's a lot of carries.
If you're not Lamar Jackson and you have 13 carries, it's weird. Like as a
How many
quarterback,
yards do you think Daniel Jones got on those 13 carries?
15.
43
Oh,
for
all
a
right.
3.3 average with an 11-yard long. Daniel Jones through the air, 15 to 28, 104 yards, 2 picks. So if you're down, 40-0 or 30-0, 20-0 to start the game, I think you'd be throwing a lot more. But I guess they were making him run too. Maybe he was just taking off. But the Dallas offense didn't really need to do anything. No passing touchdowns by Dak.
Yeah,
Um,
that's normal.
yeah. Tony Pollard, his first game as a starter, 14 carries, 70 yards on the ground, 2 rushing touchdowns with also 2 catches and a fumble. CD Lamb led the receiving crew, 4 catches, 77 yards, 4 catches on 4 targets. So they didn't really have to do much because the defense freaking had two interceptions for a touchdown, and then I think some fumbles too.
You know how people used to talk about um Mac when he was with the Raiders, when he was like his first couple of seasons.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Uh, that's
Khalil.
definitely right. Khalil Mack. That's definitely who Micah Parsons is. He might be better than Mac because he can cover better, but Mac was also a really good coverage linebacker too when they asked him to do it. But I
Oh,
think,
what?
yeah, when he was playing zone, he was all right. He could cover like the flats and stuff like that. But Michael Parsons is really like Michael Parsons. He could probably be a safety if he wanted to. I think.
Yo, it's crazy that people thought he was going to play middle linebacker or something, and then they put him on the edge the first week, and he just. I don't
Right.
know if they were planning to do that, or I think there was an injury to the defensive end or outside linebacker that was supposed to play that edge.
Demarcus Ware was out first
Oh,
couple of
what?
games, so he filled in for that. But he was so athletic that they wanted to play him at middle first because he played a little bit of middle at sorry, not Ohio State, Penn State. But I think he played more outside linebacker, not even on the edge. So athleticism alone allows people to like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like it didn't work out very well for Isaiah Simmons only because he doesn't have like a definite he's never played at one position like a whole season.
Mm.
Like they had him at safety, they put him at nickel. He played outside linebacker, you know what I mean? Middle linebacker. He's with the Jets now, if I'm correct. Uh, but yeah, I think when Isaiah Simmons was coming into the league, that's what they thought he was going to be more like someone who could do the things that Parsons does. But Parsons is able to do what he does is because he can do all of that from the defensive end spot. You know what I mean? You can still drop him into coverage, not on every play, not a lot of plays, but he's still able to drop back into coverage from that spot on stunts or special plays. He can still rush the quarterback from there. He can still stop the run. He can play the flats, and he does that all very well from his defensive end spot. He also just terrorizes quarterbacks. So yeah, if you have a guy like Marco Parsons on your defense, like you're not too surprised that your defense won the game for you like the way they did today. I think you said they put up 35 in fantasy points.
The Dallas defense.
Yeah, you know what I mean. That's crazy because that's a top 5 player in the league putting up 35 points.
37.
Oh, she's 37.
That's
Right.
like leading the week, right? Like,
Yeah, I think that's probably the
how
most
much
by
did Brandon Ayuk have? 35? Like, that's
some.
more than Brandon Ayuk's
Yeah.
breakout day?
So
Hell yeah.
imagine that. That's crazy. And they still got like um what is their DB's name that led the league in interceptions last year
Who's that?
for Dallas?
Oh, Trayvon Diggs?
Diggs. He
Trayvon!
he gives up a lot of big plays, but he did have like what he have like 11 interceptions last season, something like that, 7, 8.
Sad.
I don't know.
Probably around double digits or
He had a
a
lot.
few less.
He had a lot.
I think he might have had more his first year.
Hmm.
Uh-oh. Somebody entered their password into the group chat for work. Yeah, delete. Sender has removed message. Uh, yeah, what other games? The Dallas Cowboys get the other New York team at home next week. They host the Jets, so we'll see if the defense, you know, is able to put another shutout. I know Micah Parsons' whole thing this year is to not allow more than like 14 points ever in a game, because he's like, if we just don't allow people to score, we're going to win games. That's how I'm going to win the game, is by not allowing people to score. And then hopefully we can get a couple touchdowns and it'll be easy. I'm
Well,
like, keep
if
doing it
Dak
like this.
if Dak is gonna throw 14 of those things to the other team,
Oh yeah. You don't want interceptions. Did Dak throw any picks today?
I don't think so.
Was he
It's so
clean
funny
today?
because he came out during the preseason and was just like, I'm not gonna throw 10 interceptions this season. Everyone's like, yeah, you're gonna throw like 30.
I think he led the league with 15 last year. 13
Yeah.
of 24 passing, 143 yards, no touchdowns, no picks for the Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. All right, 40-0. Yeah, they get the Jets next year. Let's see what other games. Oh, the Packers are for real?
Jordan Love is for real.
Okay,
Nah,
38.
I don't know if we can say it's for real, but he's a good quarterback. And he got to sit behind,
Yep,
Aaron Rodgers for a
yep,
few seasons.
yep.
And it seems like he's picked up a lot. So not to
38
take
to
away
0.
from the work he's done on his own, or anything like that, but it does count for something when you sit behind a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers and you get to learn from him. So
Better make it count.
right.
Better use
And
that.
also, I mean, there was rumors that there was gonna be or Indianapolis wanted to trade with Green Bay and the talks were going well, but Indianapolis wanted Christian Watkins or Watson, sorry, and Green Bay was like, nah, I think we
Christian
like you.
Watson's hurt ass.
So they didn't want to give that up. Dobbs had a good game today. I know he had a touchdown. One.
Yeah, he had at least one score.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me pull up the stats for the Packers. Jordan Love, only like 50% passing, 15 to 27, 245 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, I think he was the only person that threw 3 touchdowns today.
Quarterbacks
Uh,
are like shooting guards in the league. Like if you have you have volume shooters in the league.
yeah, yep.
So some quarterbacks are going to be volume throwers. Like that setup will probably look a little skewed because they've thrown so much, but he still had, like you said, 245 yards and 3 touchdowns. So
That's
you
pretty
know,
good.
if it takes that many throws to do that and you end up winning the game still with 3 touchdowns, as long as he's not throwing like a pick every other throw. So
On the other side, Justin Fields for the Bears, 24 37, 216 yards, touchdown and a pick, 9 carries, 59 yards. So probably decent for fantasy, not great. But yeah, the Packers still own the Bears. Okay, I guess. Just
yeah, it's not just you, Aaron Rodgers.
oh man, the Seahawks lost the game. I thought they were gonna win pretty easily. The Rams beat the Seahawks in Seattle 30-13.
You know what's cool though?
I thought the Rams were tanking
I
this
don't
year.
know, but Puka Nakua had a really good game today. So as a
Yes.
rookie, straight out of BYU, you know what I mean? So shout out to that guy too, man. Yeah,
Yo,
Polynesian straight.
15 targets.
We're winning this first day of NFL. So
Let's fucking go. Keep it up. 15 targets for the rookie out of BYU, Puka Nakua, 10 catches, 119 yards. Cooper Kupp is out for at least the first 4 weeks. It's no
man, well,
guarantee
not
that he's
nice,
coming
but
back week 5. It's
right.
not guaranteed that he's coming back week 5 like Jonathan Taylor is guaranteed to come back week 5. Jonathan Taylor said he's about to suit up as soon as he can, but he has to miss the first 4 games because he's started the game on IR or started the season on IR. But Puka Nakua, because Cooper Kupp is on IR. Van Jefferson is the starting wide receiver for the Rams, and getting that coverage, Puka Nakua is eating across the middle, eating underneath. And he's going 15 targets? Are you insane? You need to pick him up in fantasy right now. I am
Right.
not releasing this episode until I put my waivers in. But yeah,
Too
you
late,
should, if
man.
you're
I'm ahead of
listening.
you on waivers already.
Nice,
So
nice, nice. If you're
no, no.
listening to this, you should definitely pick up someone who's going to get double-digit targets,
Yeah.
at least through the first quarter of the season. And they've been raving about him all camp, talking about how he's come along really quickly, and they like him a lot. So yeah, I'll definitely be trying to get Puka Nakua, who tied for the lead in yards.
I tried to do
Let's
that
go.
today with Jonathan Taylor's backup, but it didn't work out.
Deion Jackson. Damn, yeah, that
It
I need to get
didn't
that
work out.
Colts game with Anthony Richardson. I'm excited to talk about Anthony Richardson.
He looked good. I mean, again, if you're gauging by fantasy points, he put up 20 today, 19, depending on what league you're in. So that's pretty good. He looked all right. They did lose, but
he got
um,
smacked at the end. I
yeah,
feel
he
like
did.
he got knocked out of the game at the end. Gardner Minshew had to finish it.
Yeah.
But you see the potential and what he's doing, and I mean, at least for fantasy, if you picked him up with a super late round pick and he's running into the end zone, you know that's what you want, right? You've got basically a running back playing quarterback, and those passing yards are just sugar on top because the running, let's see what he got. I know he got into the end zone, but Anthony Richardson, number 4 overall pick, also had 40 yards and a touchdown. So you get 10 points from a running back. That's cool, right? But he also had 223 yards passing and a touchdown. So you throw that on top. That's like 12 extra points. Oh, he had an interception. So like 10 extra points. So he had like 20, 21 points
Yep.
today. And that's like not. I mean, I do not agree with keeping him out there for 40 passes.
Hmm.
Um, and he was taking big hits. Like when he would scramble, he would like lower the shoulder instead of slide. Um, but yeah, it's his passing is just a bonus. You're going for RB2 numbers in your quarterback slot, and you probably didn't have to pick him up until late. I know some guys that spent heavy on him early though in a couple super flex leagues. Um, but yeah, I think yeah, he's gonna be fun to watch. Definitely got that Cam Newton feel where he can run and bowl people over. But
Yeah.
like we saw at the end of this game, this first week, getting knocked out of the game, he was on the ground for a while. I think they said it was a knee bruise,
Hey,
and he downplayed it after the game.
NFL players are a lot stronger, faster, and bigger than the guys you're playing in college, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure taking those hits are different. But
Um,
hey, you know what I mean? It's gonna be a learning process for him while he's just starting out. So, but from the first game, he looks pretty good.
who did you like for the Jaguars who won 31-21?
Oh, Etienne and Trevor Lawrence had well, not really Etienne, but Trevor Lawrence had a good game today. So
Uh, Etienne had 104 combined yards.
oh, there you go. Yeah, 100 yards for running back. That's always good.
Trevor Lawrence 24-32. What is that? 75%. Two touchdowns. Oh, for 241 yards, two touchdowns and interception. Also added 21 yards on the ground. Calvin Ridley, come on. Fantasy was
Man,
fun today. 8 catches,
yeah.
101 yards, and a touchdown for Calvin Ridley.
First game back after being suspended for gambling. Uh,
I hate that.
that's a whole year being out. That's and to come to have that good of a game. And you know, he was already um at I guess superstar level when he was with Atlanta. He
Yep.
was one of their top players. So for him to come back and be in the same form, that's pretty dope. Good for him.
Calvin Ridley. There was a post. It's from camp or something, but it showed like the receivers running routes for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And it might have been Christian Kirk or Zay Jones or somebody else, but they ran the route and it was like a 10-yard hitch and then run in. Uh, 10-yard hitch, catch the ball, run in, or something like that. But the first guy runs it, he runs it super fast, breaks down, turns around, catches the ball, runs out really fast and strong. And I'm like, oh, nice. Calvin Ridley is the next person that does it, and he does it at a completely different gear. He's so much faster, so much quicker, breaks down faster. He's turning around in half the time, catching the ball, taking off, disappears. I'm like, oh shit, I need this guy on my fantasy football team. If Trevor Lawrence can get the ball to him, I need him on as many fantasy football teams as I can. He was gone in like the second round,
Yeah,
third round at the very latest. People knew
he's
about
still
him.
Calvin Ridley. Yeah, he's still Calvin Ridley. Same from when he was playing. So uh
Uh,
if if the Jaguars, the receivers can stay healthy because DJ Shark was a scratch today. Their receiving core looks pretty good. Ridley, Sharp, my sleeper pick, wasn't that great today.
Chart?
No,
Oh, Kirk,
yeah. So
Christian,
you should cook, but and they have Etienne. They also have a running back, Tech Bigsby.
Bigsby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna be good for them. So
Yo, that's their goal line back? I thought ETN was going to get that.
I mean, like we already know, we've heard it like these past few seasons. Uh, the Patriots have been already on it, but running back by committee is probably your best bet. You know, what I mean, you can have your star, but it's always good to have those two backup guys that so you never miss a beat, or your top guy can stay healthy at least
Yeah.
with as minimal amount of carries as possible. So running back is a position where wear and tear is pretty tough. And the hits you take as a running back, the mileage you get from running the ball, the pounding that your knees are taking every time you take a hard step, especially on this turf. So yeah, it's cool to have at least another running back in the backfield that can alleviate some of that workload. Even though some guys like Josh Jacobs, like they don't mind the workload. Like that's how they
Nick
strive,
Chubb.
you know. Yeah, they
Well,
get better. Yeah, Nick Chubb, they get better at the end of the game. Even though he did share carries with Kareem Hunt last year and the year before that, but I
I feel
think
like
those guys.
they brought in another running back to split with him.
I think it's the same dude that they had just behind him. The
Ford.
Ernest.
I think
It's,
Dearness Johnson's gone. Jerome
oh,
Ford,
okay.
freaking stealing carries. I'm like, hey, give those to Nick Chubb. What the fuck are you doing? Yeah, they let's see. What other games? Buccaneers beat the Vikings, Baker Mayfield 20-17 in Minnesota.
Who
What do you
cares? Boring.
Oh, okay.
No, no, I'm kidding. I'm
Baker
kidding.
Mayfield. That was surprising. I definitely didn't expect them to be put together enough
To beat the Vikings.
to beat the Vikings, who are supposed to win the freaking NFC North. Baker Mayfield woke up feeling dangerous. 21-34, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ooh,
Spicy. Hey, you know what? If he can keep the stat line like that all season, then the
that's
Bucks
like
they
manager.
won't be too bad. Yeah,
Yeah,
they won't be too bad.
get the ball to Mike
Because
Evans.
right, right. Oh man, I saw I saw a Facebook post that I almost thought it was real until I read it all the way through. It
I
said
love
that
those
the Chiefs had
misinformation.
right, the Chiefs had traded for Evans. They were trading Kadarius Tony, and they trade and like it was all like you're reading it through. Then you got to the end, and the deal was Evans for Tony. Evans for Tony and all the Butterfingers that he eats. I was like, damn,
I
wow,
think
one game,
NFL
one
memes.
interception.
They put out Kadarius Tony to the injured reserve, and then brackets broken hands. Fucking
Tough,
dropaholic over here,
tough. After he helped them win the Super Bowl, tough,
bro.
tough.
Mike Evans, 6 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown. Chris Godwin, 551. Their leading rusher was Rashad White, 17 carries, 39 yards, with a long of 6 yards. That wasn't really getting it done, but it did get it done. They won the game.
They
Kirk
did.
Cousins, 33 of 44 for 344, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Oh my gosh. Alexander Madison did not look great today.
Hmm.
11 carries, 31
Ha.
yards, 3 catches, 10 yards on 4 targets. Justin Jefferson, though,
You know what that
yo,
means? That means Dalvin Cook is reading those stats, and it's like, if you are smart, Robert Sala, sorry, your last name, but
yep.
if you are smart, feed Dalvin Cook tomorrow.
Bro, yeah.
He's
Easy. I mean,
he's
but it's
been
going to be
yeah.
the Aaron Rodgers show.
It was already the Aaron Rodgers show in the summertime on Hard Knocks.
Yeah, true. So I think I still have to watch the last episode.
Man,
Justin Jefferson got 12 targets, had 9 catches for 150 yards. Jordan Addison, the rookie out of
USC.
second.
You know what?
No,
No,
he wasn't even second.
Jordan Addison, the rookie out of Pittsburgh.
Hey, he started in Pittsburgh, but
He
where did
did.
he end? 6 targets, 4 catches, 61 yards, and that cover 4 beater for the big touchdown.
Yeah, nice. Good
Yeah,
for him, man. I mean,
but they
remember
lose
when
the game.
they did? Remember when the Bucks had Vincent Jackson too?
Oh my gosh, yeah! Shout out Vincent Jackson, R.I.P.
Like, he was so good, man.
Big jump ball,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
but
So
can move
Evans,
too.
him and Evans, yeah, Vincent, man, that's crazy to have like those
Oh,
two
both those
guys.
guys.
Yeah, that's
Oh
crazy.
man,
Like
nice.
that's crazy.
Uh,
Shout out also to Frankie Luvu. 3 solo and a sack today. So
nice.
nice way to start
The
off the season, man.
the Panthers travel to Atlanta to play the division rival Falcons. The Falcons pull out the win 24-10. Desmond Ritter beats Bryce Young, rookie quarterback for the Panthers. But
Nice.
Bijan Robinson is what I was looking for. Uh, Not even the leading scoring running back on his own team, but Bijan Robinson showed me some things. I'm happy I took him in
Oh
early.
no.
Maybe
If
not
my
second overall, but
if I had a daughter who picked my name first, I would have had him too.
I also took him in a keeper in a different keeper league. Uh, but yeah, I knew I wasn't gonna get a running back in our league with all the keepers already out there and a bunch of
Right.
people gone. And I knew I didn't want to take a quarterback so early because we don't. It's not a super flex league; it's a standard league, PPR. But I wanted a running back that I probably was going to keep. So, Bijan Robinson, second overall, uh, to
Yeah, yeah,
Fields of Flowers. It's me.
yeah. Who's beating me right now? If you guys are wondering, since we're in the league
Nah,
together, who's beating me handily right now? Uh,
fantasy football is there because when your team loses, hopefully you can get a win in one of the 5 leagues you're in to feel good. It's like, hey, you know what? We're putting a good team together. Yeah, but shout out to Frankie. Hopefully, see what's their next game. I'm sure it's a home game. Carolina Panthers host the Saints
and then you know where
Monday
they go
Monday
after
night.
that? You know where they go after that? They go to Seattle,
Seahawks.
and we're hoping to be in attendance. So,
Bro, let's
uh,
go. Oh,
try to grab
oh.
some tickets and go support Frankie. Hang out with Junior and
Hey,
his
shout out
family out
June and the
there.
fam,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So it's so funny. Junior was one of the only Minnesota fans that I know of when we were in Samba. And naturally, when his brother went to the Jets, cheered for the Jets, and now that he's with Carolina, he's cheering for Carolina. So shout out to him, man. Three tough teams to cheer with because yeah, it's just tough to cheer for right now. Um, but good things coming for the Panthers this year, especially for Frankie. So
Oh yeah, and there you got the number 1 overall pick is a quarterback who's going
right,
to take time, but once
looks
he
good.
gets
Yeah,
right, Bryce Young
looks
is
good.
like a baller. So once he
Yeah,
gets acclimated, once he gets his feet under him, the Panthers might be in the Super Bowl
I feel it.
sooner than later.
I feel it.
I think we got 2 more games left. Titans at Saints. The Saints defend the Superdome, Sugardome, Power
Man,
Dome. What's it
I
called?
keep yeah, I have no
Aladome.
idea. The
It's either the Super.
the Terradome.
The Saints, bro, hang on. Derek Carr. Derek Carr. Shout out DC. DC 4.
Nah.
No.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Good
Nah.
for him, man. Good for him, man. Good for him.
Where the hell is this called? Caesars Superdome in Nolans. The Saints were -3. They did not. Oh, they covered. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Derrick Henry had some yards. Derek Carr threw
He
some.
also had a really mean stiff arm. I agree with the meme that I saw. I said, "Man, have we missed these stiff arms?" And then it showed him smacking the shit out of a
Nice.
Saints DB today.
Angry, angry. Why would you even approach me right now? That's
Right.
that's what I love about Derrick Henry's stiff arms.
Just
Oh, and
trying
the
to
people
untie his
flying
shoes.
sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. Derrick Henry, 15 carries, 63 yards, 3 targets, 2 catches. I think they had a bunch of screens that broke loose. 2 catches,
Mm.
56 yards.
Oh wow.
So I think that's always been the thing for Derrick Henry and the Titans is like, why don't you get him more involved in the passing game? Like, and they're just,
Right.
I don't know. Maybe he's just like more in between the tackles, find a hole, break away. He's fast when he gets gone.
His hands are too big because he can't find the ball.
Maybe he can't freaking catch.
No, no, no. I'm pretty sure it's because he just want to just keep him going, like you said, keep him going one way, which is up the field instead of having to, you know what I mean, run routes out there. And
Yeah, you got a big ass tank. You want to keep
yeah,
him north south, right?
yeah.
When the Titans did pass, it was mostly due to DeAndre Hopkins. 13 targets, 7 catches, 65 yards.
I wish
But
he had a
yeah, they
touchdown.
didn't score no touchdowns. think it might have been 5 field goals for all their points. Oh, geez, it was no touchdowns for the Titans. Brian Tannehill throws 3 interceptions, and they end up losing by 1. Ugh. Yeah. And our last game of the week, saved the very best for the very last. Cardinals and Josh Dobbs lose 16-20 in Washington versus the Commanders. Commanders start their new franchise ownership era tenure with a win. Yeah, Sam Howell is your first Asian quarterback in the NFL.
Is he what Asian is he?
I think he's Korean, half Korean.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did pretty good. At least, I mean, in fantasy too. 19-31, 202 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. He also had 11 yards on the ground and a touchdown,
Hey,
which
he
helped
was
out
good
a
last year.
lot.
Yeah, he was good last year.
I mean, where'd he go? They said he went to a good school. He just slipped because people were like, he's short,
Yeah, North
He's
Carolina. He was really good at North Carolina.
he had Javante Williams with him,
And Elijah
Elijah
Moore.
Moore.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. See, so I mean, with good weapons, he can make things happen. I think. Well, I think after they left and he had to play a season without him, his stats dropped. So people probably thought, oh, he needs,
Yeah.
he needs like elite talent around him. But he's, picked up the win.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's freaking week 1, man.
Well, I mean, we have one more game tomorrow, but
Yeah. So I was gonna ask, what is the prediction? I feel like we got to end our Sunday shows with our Monday Night Football predictions.
I think it's a win for Aaron Rodgers. I think they're gonna go pass heavy, but he does have two really good backs in his backfield to help him out. Brees Hall and Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook, who is also a very good receiver out of the backfield,
Yeah.
I think is going to be really good for Aaron Rodgers. So he won't miss a beat because he had a really good running back in Green Bay. It's just a matter of him. By all accounts, everybody that saw them in practice and in Hard Knocks, him and Garrett Wilson are going to be amazing together. So
I hope
it's gonna
so.
be it's gonna be exciting to see it. Another 17 that he's throwing to. It's not Devontae Adams, not the same
Yeah.
17, but a new 17. Devontae Adams likes the kid, says he's really good. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But I do think it's a win for the Jets tomorrow.
Yeah, I think the Jets are getting the shine right now, but the Bills, I don't know. The Bills are supposed to be a lot better. The Bills are favored by 2 points, even.
They're favorites
Even
to go to the Super
traveling.
Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the Bills. Shoot, I honestly don't have enough info on the Bills. We got to talk to Rick. Shout out to Rick McElfresh,
I just hope they
the
don't
biggest
play
Bills fan.
Dalton Kincaid because he's on my bench right now. But I also have been telling everybody to draft him if you have room on your bench because I think he's going to be the starter before the year's end over Knox.
Yeah, in the league that I have him in, I'm already losing by like 40 points. And so I'm going to leave him in there. I'm not going to make another move. But if it was close, I probably would have tried to sub him out for a different tight end because I agree with you. Like, I think he's going to be great later on. And they did spend a lot draft capital on him. But right now, Dawson Knox, isn't Dawson Knox like Josh Allen's roommate, like bunkmate in camp?
Oh, maybe
So
that's why.
and also Dawson Knox has always been a good tight end, and he's got that relationship with Josh Allen, and he's a better blocker, better pass blocker, knows the offense a lot more. So I'm not expecting Dalton Kincaid to even hit his 7 points tomorrow, projected points.
No, yeah, probably
but
not.
Yeah, I look forward to having him as Josh Allen. Hopefully, as Josh Allen's big time, over the middle receiver kind of guy, a la Travis Kelce, later on in the season. Hopefully, but yeah, hell yeah! Shout out to football. Shout out to the NFL being back. Shout out to Forrest. Thanks for coming on tonight, man. Appreciate it.
Of course, man. Yo, before we go, it'll probably be a regular thing we do on like a weekly show too, but trying to start something. There's a lot of kids back home that play football, man,
Yeah.
and that go out and just. When I was growing up, like if you weren't like the best in the island, you really went the JC route, you know.
Yep.
Uh, Colleges like Snow, John Hancock, College of the Canyons, university, the San Francisco Community College, who was big in junior college football. A lot of schools like that. Did I say Snow? Snow, yeah.
Yeah.
And now you have the military, New Mexico Military
Hey,
Institute,
yeah.
who who's being head coached by Sawana alumni Kurt Telfasau.
Hey, go
That's dope.
Sharkies.
Yeah, that's dope. I remember he after college, I think he was at Idaho. He was on the Raiders for a little bit and it's another team, but he is now the head coach at the New Mexico Military Institute. And he's got a really good pipeline going back home, picking up kids. Uh and it's not like before, like a lot of the kids back home now get good exposure. Coaches actually come home to recruit now. Big schools come home to recruit.
Because they
But
know.
right, because they know. Because they know. It's been proven that a kid from the islands is about 10 times more likely to make it to the NFL than anywhere in the world, including Florida and California, which are big beds for NFL players, college players, 5-star recruits. But
Get all that outside time to play football.
right. But yeah, we're gonna start a segment since it's football season. We're gonna continue it into like volleyball, basketball, baseball season for the kids in American Samoa or any other place that you guys know of a kid that who isn't like maybe not getting the exposure they need, or you just want to, you know, shout them out. You can send us some names, some stats, what they're doing, what sport they're playing, all that stuff. We're gonna call it Kids from the Rock, man, because that's where we're from. It's what we call American Samoa, or where we live at. We call it the Rock. And our first player that I wanted to highlight
Nice.
is he's a linebacker from Leone High School. His name is Grady Marreco. He's a senior. He's the captain of the defense. Wears number 1, 17 years old. He shook some stats. He benches 255. He can squat 335. He cleans 245. He can deadlift 455. I was talking to his coach, who is also an alumni of Leone High School, which is big for him to go back and take over the program. And I think this is his second full year as a coach. And then the second full year, you can see the improvement they've made because for them, I guess it would be a victory because Tafuno was the national island-wide champion last year in American Samoa. Tafuno High School was, and they played this Saturday, and Leone held them to a tie, 14-14. So congratulations to both Tafuno and Leone, but a big congratulations to Leone because they went into the game as the underdogs, and they held their own. Man, well, more than their own, I guess.
Nice.
14-14 tie. So Duke Elisaya was also a very good player at Leone High School. You know, he played linebacker there. Went to college. I'm not sure what college he went to, but Duke not only is a great coach, great father, great husband, he's also a really great friend. He's a good friend of mine. Really good friend of mine.
I was gonna ask. I was like, how do you know?
Yeah, Duke's cool. He's now the head coach. It's so cool to see him as the head coach of Leone High School, where he started as a football player. Also, a shout out to his wife, our cousin Pele Chun, uh, which is Elisaya now. So
Nice.
yeah, but yeah, back to Grady.
I'm looking at if you go to huddle.com, you can look at video highlights that either his coaches or his team has posted for him.
Nice. Yeah.
Grady Marreco, class of 2023. Yeah, outside linebacker, Leone High School.
He's
Pongo
captain,
Pongo, Hawaii. Yeah,
defensive captain, wears number 1.
nice.
His father, another really good friend of mine, Linfield Marreco, Well, we went to high school together. He went to Leone, I went to Marist, but he was a quarterback. Played quarterback, played a little bit at Snow College as well. So really good athlete. Talking about football, he played football, but Linfield is an amazing basketball player. I know he was player of the year in American Samoa, I think more than once when we were in high school. Uh, Great dude, man. Great guy. Also, his mom is Grace Tulafono Asi. She's super smart. She played ball too a little bit. Uh, I remember her. She was the head of the IT department at the college, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, yeah, Grady's parents are great. But talking to his coach on the field, Duke was saying that Grady's he's the playmaker on their defense. He has a high IQ, reads defenses really well, can recognize plays pretty well on the field as well. So he's really good. Also, a very good student of the game. He watches film a lot, but I think well, he also plays ball, so he's athletic. Plays football and basketball. Really good basketball player. I know he
Nice.
was
Multi-sport. Okay.
multi-sport. But I think his greatest stats right now that are really going to help him get into college is he holds a 3.7 GPA at the moment and scored
Nice.
1,300 on his SAT. So not only is he doing the work on the field, he's doing work in the classroom as well.
Bro, you need those grades. Like they make it so much easier. So it's good that he adds them. Yeah, and for people listening, if you're like an athlete right now trying to get into college, the grades is a big part of it too. Like you being able to put that together. I mean, if you're like an otherworldly talent, of course someone's gonna find you. But if you're, trying to, put your best case forward, definitely having any sort of high academics or GPA is gonna help push your application along.
For
But
sure. Yeah, just like Grady that we're trying to recognize right now and showcase. He's doing in the classroom, and that's that's a big step to like because he also has a couple of D1 offers already. So
oh, nice.
yeah, as athletic as he is, as good as is on the field, these coaches and schools that are doesn't matter what division, but especially Division 1, they're gonna look at your grades too. They won't recruit you if they don't think you can play.
Right, because they can't play you if you don't have the grades.
Yeah.
So
So
what's
the
the
fact
point?
that the
Yeah.
fact that Grady has these grades, 1,300 SAT score, that speaks volumes about the kind of kid that he is. Such a great kid on and off the field. I remember Grady growing up too, always coming with his dad to our basketball games, always around. He's also a smart kid, man. Funny kid, loves to play ball, just loves to be with his friends. It's I'm happy to see Grady doing so well on the field. I knew he was going to be a great basketball player. I figured he might be a quarterback like his father, also like his uh his uncle too, who was a quarterback at Leone. Rest in peace to his uncle, passed away at a young age. Um, but yeah, Grady, man, good stuff for you. If you are a coach and you want to inquire about Grady, um, you can hit us up on the show, or you can go directly to the head coach at the only Duke Elisaya. You can find him on Facebook and on Instagram. Same with his father, his mom. I know they're on Facebook. But yeah, any coaches out there, any schools, maybe looking for outside linebacker. I know he plays middle too. I was watching a little bit of the game on Facebook because they have Facebook Live or
Streams for
people,
their games.
yeah, Facebook Live streams for the game. And I was watching them play Saturday yesterday. Looks pretty good. He can move on the field. He's got good size. Reads defense as well. Gets into the backfield when he has to. Doesn't miss tackles. So yes, if you are a coach and you listen to us on these shows, let us know. We can get you in contact
Oh
with
yeah,
Grady.
yeah.
And
Message
yeah,
us.
so that's this is the first time we're doing this part of our show, Kids from the Rock. Um, Shout out to Grady and his Leone High School teammates. Shout out to Coach Duke. Hope you guys have a great season. And I hope to talk about another kid from one of your teammates, Grady, or one of your players, Duke. If you guys have another player that you guys want to put out there, or any coaches from American Samoa, please let us know. Let us know. Yeah,
So that's
again,
cool that when you're talking about doing this segment, like having just using the platform to bring more exposure to kids that otherwise might not get it. That's crazy to think that. I know it's come a long way, but it sucks that there's still like gems of athletes down there that
oh,
just
there's
don't
yeah,
get seen.
yeah. I mean, case in point, um, if you guys don't know, if you guys have been living under a rock, the Maui Little brothers that are at Miami right now, they started playing at South Florida High School.
Hell yeah.
Francisco and Francis Moingon. Who they also have a brother who played at Washington State, Fred, who is I'm pretty sure he was all conference where he was at Washington State. Their brother who played at a smaller college in Chicago, was it North Park that it's called? A lot of the kids from back home got a chance to play there. Um, Frank Monroe, who was man, he I watched him play in high school as a quarterback at South Florida High School, and gosh, the kid was good. Frank Monroe. He also played basketball for me. I coached him in basketball. He played a couple games for us. But yeah, the Monroe brothers, they would have gotten an opportunity to play Division One ball, any division ball out of American Samoa. That's how good they are. That's how good the kids are. But their chances of becoming really well known, like nationally known, Francis was I guess you could say arguably, I ranked him as the number one tackle in America last season. He's a freshman at Miami this year, starting offensive tackle for the Miami Hurricanes. Five-star prospect. Francisco was a four-star. He committed to Washington State a year ago, played one season there, was amazing. Again, ended up starting as a freshman. I think his highlight of the year was I think it was like a 60-yard pick six return from his linebacker spot. Immediately transferred over to Miami to play with his younger brother so they could be together. Got there, was named a captain this week, also named the starter. So these two brothers, straight from American Samoa, um, Francisco, actually, they both transferred to IMG Academy. Again,
Yeah.
that school is tops in football every year. IMG Academy in Florida, and they wanted both brothers to come and play for them. So that's really how they got a national spotlight in the U.S. playing for IMG Academy. Uh, and then now they're in
Oh, now
Miami.
they're both killing it at Miami.
Yeah, now they're in
Do they
Miami.
have the same name?
Francisco and Francis. So Francisco is a
That is
linebacker,
tough.
right? So Francisco is a linebacker. He plays linebacker, number 51. And if I'm not mistaken, Francis is 61 on the offensive line. Massive kid. It's like 6'6", 330 maybe, but super athletic. Miami was lucky that they got both, depending on what recruiting service that you follow, were both 1 and 2 in recruiting all year. Their senior years in high school at Miami. They got both top offensive tackles. Uh, Francis is the one starting right now. They so far,
Miami's going to be good.
they were I think they're 2-0 right now.
Hey,
Um, Mario Cristobal, who was the coach at Oregon, is now the coach at his second season at Miami, and it was imperative to him that Francis was one of his recruits that he had to have, and then Francisco's more than a bonus, but it was a really big bonus for them when he decided to commit to Miami, transfer over. And I don't know if they were really knew that they were what they were getting when they got Francisco, but when he got there, the coaches were just like, "Oh yeah, another gem,"
nice.
And now he's starting, so and a captain of the defense.
I'm
So
going
great
to try
stories.
to put
Yeah,
their stats up, but that's such a good point. Like they came
right,
from the rock,
right, and
and now that they got that opportunity, they're out there
it's not that
shiny at Miami.
right. It's not that they wouldn't have gotten recognition or have been recruited out of the islands. because it's been proven. We've got kids that are there's right now there's a kid at the only at Washington State starting on the offensive line who's from American Samoa. So you got guys, and then there's guys all over. Like I said,
Yeah.
at New Mexico, starting for Coach Telfaso, a bunch of kids there starting. I think there's a few still at Oregon State. So there's a bunch of kids who are recruited right out of American Samoa. We got Oki Shalavel, who is transferred over from Colorado to the University of Hawaii, who's playing there. I think there's another. I think he's a linebacker from Samoa. His last name is Bresky. He's playing at UH, so it's not unheard of, or me to get recruited straight off the island. But the exposure that Francis and Francisco got just playing for IMG, getting out there.
I mean, IMG
It was
is
different. Yeah, it's different.
IMG is like we're about to go pro academy, right?
Right. Like if they could send kids straight to the pros from IMG, I'm pretty sure they would, but you can't. So
Well, okay, I guess it's like a high college recruit then, right?
right.
Or because
So
they're a high school, right?
IMG, they're a high school, but I think they're more towards like a performance school and a prep school. So like if you're going there, if you transfer over to IMG, there's a specific sport that you're good in, or at least your family thinks you're good in, and that's why you're going to IMG, so you can focus more on the sport that's going to get you there while at the same time being in school.
Nice.
My point,
How do you get it?
How do you get to IMG? You got to be really good. I mean, I think both Francis and Francisco were scouted at if I'm not mistaken, it might have been the Oregon Open camp that they have every summer, which is a really big high school camp. Probably one of the biggest high school camps in the nation every summer. If you get invited to the Open camp in Oregon, yeah, you're the shit.
And they both went?
They both went. I think Tafuna tries to every summer. I remember take a handful of kids to the camp and get that exposure there. Me explaining all of that, me and Lance talking about all of that is just trying to explain why also we want to do this segment is, what I mean? We're not nationally known. Our show isn't nationally known, but there are people who listen that are in the coaching world. So if we can bring a little bit more exposure to some of these kids, man, and help them out in any way, then we're more than willing to do it. We're all about that. That's what we're trying to do. Also, coaches from American Samoa, if you guys need help too, if you guys want to jump on the show and talk about anything that's going on back home, because we live out here in the States now, so we don't really know much about what's going on with like the
the day-to-day
of the
back home
of high schools or the American Samoa Athletic Association. But we would like to help. We would like to help because I know there's a lot of people who like to talk about things that are going on back home, who don't live home. They have a whole bunch of complaints but no solutions. What we're trying to do is
talk through it, figure shit out.
We're trying to hear the complaints and help you with the solutions. So
you know that annoying shit that like your boyfriend does or you do to like your partner when they talk about like, oh, I'm having this problem, and you're like, oh, it sounds like this could be a solution, instead of just listening to you vent about it. That's what we do. If you have something to complain about or you have an issue, there's definitely like willing to listen ears here for you. But also, yeah, the mosquito. I don't know they're not mosquitoes, but the fucking the insects are out now. They all just came out like the last 5 minutes.
They know that we're about to be dead.
Yeah, we're definitely some thinkers that can think through stuff and have experienced some stuff, and definitely could be a sounding board for issues and stuff, not only in lives or sports, but also in our community. And if we ever in any way could advance the exposure of talent for the students and the athletes in American Samoa or any of the other Polynesian islands, if there's any way we can do that, Definitely. And shout out to you for, putting this segment together and getting it started. And I'm hoping we can, keep getting
Right.
those athlete takes, those profiles, and yeah, just put them out there. Um, yeah, I think that's going to be a big part of maybe the. I'm thinking if we have a midweek show.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
So
Yeah,
we do a
midweek show.
Sunday NFL recap, and then a Wednesday, like freaking everything else in the week, poly
Right.
issues, other sports stuff that's coming up, maybe the preview for NFL, I'm sure basketball, like a bunch of stuff. And definitely during football season, there's no way we can fit everything into one episode a week. So we might
No.
have to crank that up
Yeah.
for the people. But yeah, that's yeah. Any other thoughts about week one or Kids from the Rock or the
No, we
Raiders leading the league in win percentage?
we are number one. No, crazy week. It was a good week. Like the first couple of weeks, I always love to see like the rookies play or guys on new teams and see how they do. So that was fun. Um, it's good to see KVZK stream some of the games. So that's cool. We get to see some of those guys. Um, Me and Lance both were a big part of high school sports back home. Lance was one of the analysts and announcers for the high school games.
I used to
I
do the radio. Yep.
Yeah, I coached high school basketball at American Samoa. Uh, and the coaching circle is pretty like tight knit out there. So shout out to Coach Bill Enna. If I'm not mistaken, he's at Fine Tour this year. Shout out to Coach.
He's a mosquito. Is that a
Shout out to
mosquito?
Coach Oakland Salavel, who's back at Tafuna High School as the head coach.
Yeah.
They're just coming back from playing, I think, a trio of top high schools in California. Uh,
Hell yeah.
just yeah, that was cool. It's good to
That's a
see.
great experience.
Yeah, and shout out again to Coach Duke Elisaya, the Young High School, and my family. His wife, Pedichan Elisaya, who ride. I mean, she's a rider for the school, for the team, for the boys. When she was talking to me with the boys, just like those are like my sons. So she was super excited to hear about us talking about them, trying to get them, just highlighting them. I mean, like I told her, I was like, hey, we're not super like syndicated or like nationally known, popular, but we do know,
Yeah.
some people listen to it that are in the circle again of coaching out here in the States. So
And
she was super,
maybe even if they can't do something, they might know somebody that does.
yeah,
And
exactly.
playing that game of 6 degrees of
Of
separation is
separation,
success.
yeah,
So whatever we can do with that, for
yeah.
sure.
So coaches in American Samoa, if you guys again, I'd love to talk to you guys. We'd love to talk to you guys if you want to reach out to us and maybe highlight some of your players. I'll definitely be reaching out to some of you guys. I know I don't want to be disrespectful and talking to, like I was talking to Bill. He's not the head coach, so if there's a head coach out there, if we go through the head coaches, talk to you about your players and highlight some of them. If you want to give us some names, some stats, that'd be great. But other than that, we have our people out there, so we'll be like reaching out to a lot of people so we can grab names, people they want to listen to, or they want us to shout out or highlight on the show, and like we did for tonight for Grady Marreco. Again, he really is a really good kid, 17-year-old, loves to play ball, loves his teammates. No better feeling than to be out on the field for him. So again, and he doesn't just do it on the field; he does it in the classroom. Comes from a great family, great coaches. So shout out to Grady.
Nice. Yeah. Shout out to man. Appreciate you for jumping on late. I know it's
All
not the
school, man.
usual time we're
This
on,
is this is my off day. I don't work tonight, so
and we get to go in about football.
that
Yep.
too. That too.
Um,
Football's back.
Football is back, baby. Shout out to the NFL. Please decrease the concussions
Please.
uh,
Please.
and rake in those profits. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Oh, shout out to all the gamblers. all the gambling commercials and all the NFL players suspended over gambling. I feel like there's a little dissonance there.
Hey,
That's not.
if you
That might not be the word
also
I'm looking for.
if you watch college football, just like I was telling Lance, because we're number one in the conference in the west of the AFC, which Lance's team is a part of, because we're 1-0 and Lance's team is 0-2. I just also want to tell you
Oh, and
that
two.
I'm sorry.
Jesus.
0-1, 0-1. I'm a little clairvoyant. I'm looking into the future.
Fucking God. Gave us another loss. Really?
But see what I was going to say is sorry, 0-1. But you know who is 2-0 and is ranked ninth in the country? Notre Dame.
The
Yes,
Fighting Irish.
Notre
Wow.
Dame. Yeah, so just I had to stick that in too because I'm
You had to
also
jump
big.
in. Yo, shout out to those leprechauns.
Hey
Uh,
man, Fighting Irish, man, not leprechauns. Fighting Irish. Take it easy.
the
Take it
fighting. The
easy.
fighting. It's balding. That's why you got to wear that hat.
They do have Maris Lufau, who's the starting middle linebacker on that team. So another reason I wanted to shout them out because
Oh boy.
kid from Hawaii. So yeah, man.
Yeah, that
Lance is getting eaten up by mosquitoes. So
it's different stuff. That is our episode Sunday NFL recap. Episode 69. Yeah, and we're gonna have more. We're planning on doing a little bit more. So stay tuned. Check us out. Follow us Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, YouTube at Ballinesian. Um, Listen to us wherever you get your podcasts: Apple, Google, Spotify, or you can watch the full unedited episodes on YouTube. I don't think we're gonna edit. I don't think we're gonna add music. I think we're just gonna this summer or this fall for football season. We're just gonna pump and dump, just load it up
you
and
want to load
go.
it up with like the Madden intro.
I'm not gonna do any. I feel like I also lost my hard drive, which is important for. I need to find it. Yeah, no, it's we're just getting the information and the recaps out there as fast as possible. But yeah, that is our episode. Thank you everyone for listening. Shout out to our sponsor, Livasa Island Apparel, brother E-Rye down there in Modesto, California.
Yes, sir.
Always doing big things, making us proud, making his family proud. And also on the move. I think he's hit up a bunch of different festivals. I know he did the Polynesian Days, Utah, and then I think they just did one this Saturday, today. What is
Oh
today?
man, yeah,
Wednesday.
I gotta talk to
What is
you,
today?
Rod, because
Today's Sunday.
one last plug uh for DJ Loose Screws, Jesse Correa and his wife Victoria Correa just announced that they will be hosting the Pacifica Fest 2023 in Hawaii this
Nice.
November 4th. It'll be at Wet and Wild in Oahu. The lineup is gonna be announced soon. But E-Ride, man, let's make that trip to Hawaii in November, man. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Let's do it.
Oh
Let's
yeah!
do it.
Shout out to them. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody for listening. Thank you very much. We'll catch you guys later on this week, but stay tuned. Yeah, for Forrest, I'm Lance, and that is our episode. Stay hydrated, stay balling, stay blessed. Love and light. Peace.
Peace.